In the last segment of Tiferes LeMoishe, we learned about how the Rishonim and Achronim of yesteryear, when they had disagreements between each other for things which are pretty serious, for example, when it would come to Hilchos Shechita, the laws of slaughtering, where according to one opinion, if somebody eats this piece of meat, it's okay, it's fine, and according to the other opinion, they are eating treif, and it comes with the surim. And there are other aspects, such as Hilchos Shabbos, where if somebody does a certain activity on Shabbos, according to one man d'Amar, they would be chayav misa, and according to the other man d'Amar, they wouldn't. But even though they had differences of opinion, this didn't impact their relationship with each other, in the sense that it didn't fracture the community. The community stays as it were, they respected each other, and that is really the way to go about even a difference of opinion in halachah. And we find the same thing today between Gedolim and Rabbanim, who disagree maybe on areas of halacha, but they will still respect each other with the utmost respect. And if they don't, or if one of them doesn't, well then you know which one to pick and which one not to pick. And moving on, in a similar sense, the Tiferes LeMoishe says on page Chavches like this: Hashebesh b'machshava, the mistake, the error in thinking, iti v'kulam taim, that the truth can only lie with me. Like somebody who's walking on a tightrope between two mountains, and they're holding a very long balancing stick not to go left or right, not to fall down. So too a Yid thinks when it comes to the way of Yiddishkeit and halacha, the day-to-day practicing Yid, that their way is the only way, and if we were to go a little bit left, a little bit to the right, they would fall off, and therefore anybody else's way cannot be tolerated. So just like he walks on this tightrope without bending left or right, that is the way to go. And so therefore he is convinced and certain that whoever goes a little bit more to the right is considered to be absolutely crazy. Whoever goes to the left is considered to be a Rasha and a Tiferes, a Rasha and a heretic. And the only way is his way or the highway basically, only in the path and the rope that he is on. Not only that, but there's no place for somebody else to go there. So for example, if somebody were to do exactly how he does, there wouldn't be space for them. No, just only I can. This is my way and only I can do it. And my way is the real way. That's how this person thinks. The Netziv wrote a sefer called Hamikdash, and he writes in this sefer, this pasuk, he explains like this: this pasuk is coming to actually talk about the future, the Chob and Bayis Sheini, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was right to do so. It was a generation that was considered to be crooked. And this is what he says. The Hamikdash says this in his explanation on the pasuk. Even though they were righteous people and they were pious people, they were not considered to be just and correct in the ways of their world around them, because they had senas chinam, baseless hatred. Whoever did not act like they acted in the ways of serving Hashem, shehu tzedoki v'apikeres, that this person was written off as a tzedoki, which was a sect of those that considered only the Torah shebiksav, only the written Torah to be the Torah, and disregarded the oral Torah, the oral Messiah, v'apikeres, and somebody who is considered a heretic. Al-Kain Ba'al HaCharban. That's why the Charban came, because of those people. Dahainu, Sha'af Shahayi Ba'atzma Tzadikim, even though in themselves they did everything correct to the letter of the law, but they didn't tolerate those, they couldn't bear those that were not like them. And that's what the pasuk says, Tzadik v'yashar hu. What does it mean, Tzadik? Who's righteous and who is just and correct? HaKadosh Baruch Hu yashar hu. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is just. He does things the way they're supposed to be done. And he can't bear people that are considered to be righteous in the letter of the law, but are missing the point that they have senas chinam. But what they have to be something that's tzaddik, also in the ways of the world, with other people, and not crookedly. Even though it's considered to be l'shem, and for the sake of heaven, it's not really l'shem shamayim, is it? Because it creates period and separation. We're kafar al-dvar b'Parshas Hazino, and he repeated the same thing again in Parshas Hazino. He says that the destruction of the second Beis Hamikdash was because of baseless hatred. They were learning and they were serving Hashem. There was a lot of bloodshed, all for the sake of heaven. Somebody who would do either make a mistake, in their eyes make a mistake, and therefore considered to be tzedaki, and that's how their behavior was considered to be very, very damaged. It's said about them in particular, them who they learned kala Torah kula, they did everything properly, they were still considered to be a crooked and rotten nation. Because it's steeped in rigidity, and it departs from the way of the mind, of the peace of mind. And it's difficult to separate the good from the bad. When the evil is done l'shem shamayim, when somebody does so much good, and the evil that they do is done for the right motives, but they're not being true and honest with themselves, then something like that is very difficult to change and get away from, because it's very difficult to discern between which is wrong and which is right. His words, his holy words, are clear and revealed. Somebody can be considered to be a righteous person and a pious person and very meticulous in everything they do, sincerely meticulous in everything they do. HaKadosh Baruch Hu cannot tolerate him. Hashem can't tolerate this person because of his rotten behavior. And because of this kind of behavior towards others, the Churban came about. And we are still here in this destruction. This is only because of the basis hatred, which is clothed in the L'Shem Shamayim. And so it seems from this piece that I have, and I'd like to think I'm not alone, that the concept of the sweet spot, L'Shem Shamayim sweet spot, is that for us, this is L'Shem Shamayim. If I could pinpoint this, so I'm doing right, and I'm doing the right thing, and therefore that's my sweet spot. And I don't realize that it's not black and white. There are, many shades of grey to kind of see each one in their own way, provided each one is sincere and does Torah and Halachah, what they believe, either following thereof, or whichever tshuva that they are following. And as long as everybody tries to serve Hashem, it's not my business whether or not somebody serves Hashem in the same way as me or not. And everybody is free to serve Hashem the way that they choose, as long as they do it sincerely and they believe it sincerely and under the guidance of thereof, whoever that might be. And we should be zeicha to be able to see this as soon as possible so that Mashiach can come.